In 1960, John Wayne took the biggest gamble of his career. I spent everything on one movie, his home, riches, and future. All he required was loyalty from his closest friend. But that pal said no. Wayne never got over it. The rejection was not purely professional. It was a stab to the back from someone he adored like a brother. Wayne's animosity grew stronger after that. He would curse the man's name for the rest of his life. The betrayal that destroyed John Wayne began with a single phone call that changed everything. John Wayne's life started far from the dusty paths of the Wild West. On May 26, 1907, he was born in Winterset, Iowa, to Mary and Robert Morrison. His father, Clyde Morrison, was a pharmacist, and his mother, Mary Alberta Brown, was a tenacious lady who instilled in her son the value of tenacity. The family was not wealthy. They had a simple lifestyle, battling with financial and health issues. These early trials honed the tenacity that would eventually define the Duke. It's hard to think that America's most renowned cowboy was originally the son of a small-town pharmacist who lived quietly in rural Iowa. In 1913, the Morrisons relocated to Glendale, California. It wasn't fame they sought. Clyde's health was deteriorating, and physicians suggested a drier climate. They attempted to earn a livelihood on a ranch in the Mojave Desert, but the environment was hard. Crops would not grow, and the family's savings vanished. The ranch dream failed. They were forced to start anew and return to Glendale, humbled but not defeated. These difficult years taught young Marion the importance of hard effort and perseverance. Marion got the nickname that would follow her throughout her life in Glendale. He went everywhere with his Airedale Terrier, Duke. The local firefighters began dubbing them Big Duke and Little Duke. Marion preferred the name Duke above his own, and it accompanied him all the way to Hollywood success. What began as a dog-inspired nickname has become part of his legacy. Marion excelled in both academics and football at Glendale High School. His aim was to serve his nation, so he applied in the United States. Naval Academy, he narrowly missed out. Instead, he earned a football scholarship at the University of Southern California. He played alongside future NFL greats and earned a reputation for discipline and strength. But fate has a surprise in store. His shoulder was severely damaged in a body surfing accident. The injury robbed him his scholarship and his desire of completing college. He was broke and seeking for work, so he took a position as a prop man at Fox Studios for $35 per week. That twist of fate sent him on the way to Hollywood. His first employment in the film industry came through a connection he made with his football coach. Tom Mix, a silent film cowboy, helped him get a summer job at Fox. Marion met filmmaker John Ford, who recognized promise in the tall, athletic young guy. Marion gradually learned the ropes as bits and pieces followed. His first acknowledged film role was in 1929, under the name Duke Morrison. He was gradually establishing himself in the film industry. The name John Wayne was chosen without his presence in the meeting. In 1930, director Raoul Walsh cast him as the lead in The Big Trail, a large production about the Oregon Trail. They needed a new name for him and, after much deliberation, decided on John Wayne. The massive trail cost more than $2 million, had 20,000 extras, 700 animals, and 293 major players, and spanned over 4,300 miles across 7 states. However, the picture was a flop. The Great Depression prevented theaters from upgrading its equipment to the new widescreen format. The failure nearly killed his career before it even began. For nearly 10 years, John Wayne slogged through over 70 low-budget Western films. The work was quick, inexpensive, and exhausting. He often played the same type of persona, even attempting to sing like a cowboy. It was far from glamorous, but these films taught him how to use a camera, interact with people, and toughen up for what lay ahead. Columbia Pictures put insult to injury. When studio executive Harry Cohn discovered Wayne was dating one of his actresses, he humiliated him. Wayne was compelled to play dead people and traitors in little, demeaning roles. He never forgot it. Even after achieving stardom, he refused to work for Columbia again. Then came the break, which changed everything. In 1939, John Ford struggled to cast Wayne as the Ringo Kid in Stagecoach. Studios regarded Wayne as a faded B-movie star. Ford did not care. Stagecoach was released on March 3, 1939, and lasted 96 minutes. It was a hit. The film elevated Wayne to stardom and permanently changed the Western genre. John Wayne's image as America's greatest military hero was shaped by movies, but the reality was far more nuanced. When the United States entered World War II in December 1941, Wayne was 34 years old. He was married with 4 children. This earned him a 3A draft deferment because his family relied on him. That meant he didn't have to serve, but others kept talking. Other performers such as Clark Gable and Jimmy Stewart did not hesitate. Stewart was initially rejected for being too thin. However, he gained weight so that he could join the Army Air Force. He completed 20 combat missions before becoming a brigadier general. Gable fought as an aerial gunner across Europe. Wayne remained in Hollywood. His studio, Republic Pictures, wanted him out of uniform. They did not want to lose their star. Some claimed Wayne requested them to assist. Others said he felt bad about sticking behind. At one point, the government changed his draft status to 1A, indicating that he was qualified to serve. But with Hollywood's help, he received a 2A deferment, saying that he was making pictures for the war effort. This tormented him for the remainder of his life. People referred to him as a draft dodger. His widow later stated that his excessive patriotism was his attempt to compensate for not fighting when others did. From 1948 to 1950, he starred in John Ford's renowned Cavalry trilogy. It began with Fort Apache in 1948. Wayne portrayed Captain Kirby York, a soldier who sought peace with Native Americans. This was unusual for Western films of the time. It was among the first to portray Native Americans in a positive light. Then came She Wore a Yellow Ribbon in 1949. Captain Nathan Cuttingbrittles, an elderly soldier about to retire, was portrayed by the actor. This was Wayne's favorite role. The film's bright shots earned an Academy Award. The views from Monument Valley become legendary. Ratio. In 1950, Rio Grande completed the trilogy. Wayne starred alongside Maureen O'Hara for the first time. The plot focused on family, duty, and atonement. These films transformed the Western genre. They combined action, humor, and fascinating characters. They inspired future filmmakers and contributed to Wayne's iconic status. In 1948, Wayne collaborated with Montgomery Clift on Red River. The picture became famous not just for the tale, but also for the genuine tension between the actors. Wayne, who played rugged cattleman Thomas Dunson, didn't get Clift's method acting style. He believed Clift was arrogant. Clift was uneasy with Wayne's macho demeanor. Their disdain for each other was evident on film. It made their final fist fight feel more authentic. The conflict between them involved more than simply 2 men. It revealed how Hollywood was changing. The old stars like as Wayne were challenged by a new breed of actor who focused on emotion and psychology. Red River became a landmark film, not only for its action, but also for signaling a transition in cinema. Wayne's opponents frequently argued that he wasn't a true actor, but rather a strong guy with screen presence. However, in 1949, the sands of Iwo Jima altered that. He portrayed Sergeant John Stryker, a harsh Marine drill instructor. Stryker was harsh on his men, but he genuinely cared. Wayne demonstrated both strength and tenderness in this role. People were amazed at how good he was. The Academy awarded him his first Best Actor nomination. The film grossed more than $6 million, a great achievement for the time. He demonstrated genuine acting abilities, and many critics who had previously dismissed him were persuaded otherwise. Even though Wayne did not serve, he worked tirelessly to support the troops. In 1943 and 1944, he went on a 3-month USO tour in the South Pacific. He went to bases and hospitals, raising the spirits of wounded soldiers. Throughout the tour, he even worked a covert job. The director of the Office of Strategic Services requested a report on whether General MacArthur or his staff were generating problems for the ASS. Wayne received a certificate of service in recognition of his efforts. He continued to entertain troops in Korea and Vietnam, displaying his support for U.S. forces. These efforts helped shape his image as a great patriot, which he maintained for the remainder of his life. John Wayne's career and personal life were full of shocking episodes that left a lasting impression on Hollywood history. In 1956, he portrayed Ethan Edwards in The Searchers, shattering his heroic image. Ethan was consumed by hatred and revenge during the Texas Indian Wars. His desperate search for his kidnapped niece, Debbie, exposed a depravity rarely seen in Western heroes. Ethan's bigotry was terrible. He claimed he'd rather kill Debbie. He then allowed her to stay with the Comanches since he assumed she was tainted. The film's overt emphasis on racial purity surprised spectators at the time. In one frightening scene, Ethan shoots out the eyes of a dead Comanche, causing the spirit to roam eternally. In the closing moment, Ethan wandered into the desert alone, cursed by his own hatred. Some even believe Ethan was Debbie's biological father as the result of an affair with his brother's wife, adding another sad aspect to the tragedy. This complex, gloomy position altered the perception of Western heroes forever. That same year, Wayne committed one of his most costly mistakes as the conqueror. Wayne seemed out of place as Genghis Khan, the 12th century Mongol leader. Surrounded by white actors in makeup, he delivered lines so awkwardly that Time magazine compared his performance to that of a square-shooting sheriff and a Mongolian imbecile. The difficulties did not end there. The film was shot near a nuclear testing facility, and more than 90 cast and crew members contracted cancer. More than 20% of them perished, including Wayne and director Dick Powell. The film turned out to be a catastrophic disaster. Howard Hughes, the producer, spent $12 million to buy each copy and hide it. Wayne later stated that the job was a mistake. Today, The Conqueror is regarded as one of the worst films ever produced. Wayne found forgiveness with Rio Bravo in 1959. Howard Hawks directed the film, which portrayed the story of a sheriff who, with the assistance of a drunken deputy, a handicapped man, and a teenage gunslinger, held off a gang until help arrived. Wayne appeared alongside Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson, and Angie Dickinson. The film combined action, humor, and friendship to provide a unique perspective on Westerns. It was intended as a response to High Noon, in which the hero asked for assistance. Here, the sheriff remained firm with his devoted companions. Rio Bravo was filmed in Arizona and was listed to the National Film Registry in 2014 due to its cultural significance. Its combination of tension and tenderness altered Western culture forever. Wayne's dream project, The Alamo, almost destroyed him. For 15 years, he attempted to bring the story to life. He ultimately succeeded when he agreed to direct and star in the production. He mortgaged his property, putting his riches at risk. He spent more than $12 million to surround the cast and crew with relatives and friends. Despite the lavish sets and famous celebrities like Richard Widmark, the picture received mixed reviews and underperformed at the box office. Its aggressive marketing tactics backfired. Only 2 of the film's 7 Oscar nominations were won. Wayne's gamble nearly bankrupted him, but it demonstrated the risks he was willing to take to achieve his vision. Wayne starred in the 1962 film The Man Who Shot Liberty Valley. John Ford bids farewell to the Western. The movie portrayed the story of how a deception changed history. Wayne played Tom Donathan, the guy who actually murdered outlaw Liberty Valance. However, the credit went to James Stewart's character, Senator Stoddard. The famous remark, "When the legend becomes fact, print the legend," encapsulated the film's theme. Wayne's character gave up everything, including love, happiness, and fame, to help others create a better world. Critics were hesitant at first, but it is now regarded as one of Ford's greatest works. Wayne's role represented the end of an era. Wayne's personal life was equally spectacular. His first marriage to Josephine Cience felt like a fairy tale. They married in 1933 and had 4 children, but fame and a 3-year affair with Marlene Dietrich shattered their relationship. Dietrich fell for Wayne at first sight. Their affair was so public that the FBI kept an eye on it. Their romance ended his marriage and became part of Hollywood lore. Josephine attempted to preserve their marriage by bringing in a priest to counsel Wayne, but this only drove him further away. Wayne interpreted it as an attack on his freedom. The couple split in 1943, and their divorce was finalized on December 25, 1945. His second marriage, to Esperanza Chata Bauer, was characterized by violence and jealousy. They got married in 1946, and their home became a battleground. Chada once fired a rifle at Wayne following a party. Their conflicts were constant. Chada accused Wayne of having an affair with Gail Russell. Wayne accused Chada of being inebriated. Their 1954 divorce marked the end of one of Hollywood's worst marriages. Wayne's third marriage to Pillar Pallet began with passion but quickly went gloomy. They met in 1952 in Peru when Wayne was still married to Chada. Pillar became pregnant, but Wayne compelled her to undergo an abortion for fear of causing a scandal. Pillar suffered with depression and attempted suicide. They married following Wayne's divorce and had 3 children. However, the marriage was tormented by its sad beginning and Wayne's adultery. John Wayne and James Arness were as close as brothers. Their friendship began during the golden age of Hollywood. By the early 1950s, Wayne had established himself as a film giant. He assisted Arness in landing the position that would change his life. Wayne advocated for Arness to play the lead in Gunsmoke. Arness became well known for 20 years as a result of this job. Wayne made an appearance on the first episode of Gunsmoke. He presented Arness to the audience, leveraging his own star power to help the show's chances. Their bond appeared solid, but everything came apart in 1960. Wayne spent years and a fortune building the Alamo. He wanted Arness to appear in the film. He expected it as a sign of loyalty, but Arness did not appear. No clear rationale was provided. Wayne viewed it as betrayal. The pain went deep. He never forgave Arness. They never appeared together after that. Their friendship ended not with a quarrel, but with a decades-long silence. Wayne's grudges did not end there. Gene Hackman felt his rage too. The funny thing is that Wayne and Hackman have never worked together. Wayne, born in 1907, was old school. Hackman, who gained to popularity in the 1960s and 1970s, pioneered a new style of acting. Wayne despised it. He described Hackman as the worst actor in town and horrible. He said that more than once. He said it repeatedly in front of others. His daughter, Asa, claims her father ripped apart Hackman's performances every time he saw them. What is the strangest part? Wayne never said why. Hackman won 2 Oscars and was regarded as one of the greatest actors of his day. But Wayne could not see it. To him, Hackman represented everything he loathed about the new Hollywood. Clark Gable also got on Wayne's wrong side. During the 1953 film Magumbo, Gable argued with director John Ford. Ford, known for being tough on actors, made things difficult for Gable and Ava Gardner. Gable went off set more than once. Wayne, who collaborated with Ford on more than 20 films, supported him. To Wayne, loyalty was everything. He described Gable as extraordinarily gorgeous in person, but asked, "Do you know why Gable is an actor? It's the only thing he is intelligent enough to do." He stated stuff like that frequently. Wayne's statements were not simply insults. They were a warning. Cross his pals and you cross him. Wayne's feud with Frank Sinatra was considerably larger. Their political views could not have been more different. Wayne was staunchly conservative. Sinatra supported civil rights and had a great relationship with President John F. Kennedy. When Sinatra recruited a blacklisted writer, Wayne criticized him and even questioned Kennedy's decisions. Their disagreement was not solely about politics. Wayne stayed awake throughout Sinatra's noisy parties in Las Vegas. Wayne reached his limit one night. He stormed inside Sinatra's suite and slapped the bodyguard standing in his way. The feud nearly got violent more than once, but time calmed the situation. Sinatra paid Wayne a visit during his terminal illness. The old foes eventually came to respect one another, but the conflicts they fought became part of Hollywood legend. Then there was Harry Cohn. In 1931, Wayne worked for Columbia Pictures. Cohn, notorious for his abrasive behavior, humiliated Wayne over a reported romance. He remarked that when you're in the studio, you keep your pants buttoned. Wayne could not believe it. Things became worse. Cohn assigned him bad roles such as playing a corpse or a traitor. After Maker of Men, Cohn terminated Wayne's contract. Wayne's career nearly ended there, but he never forgot. In 1950, Wayne turned down Cohn's invitation to play the lead in The Gunfighter. Gregory Peck took the role instead. Wayne continued to speak negatively of Cohn in 1969. He claimed he'd sooner quit than work for him again. Wayne ultimately became a legend. Cohn's power waned. John Wayne's influence in Hollywood extended beyond his films. Behind the scenes, he played a deadly role that altered people's lives forever. In the late 1940s and 1950s, he played a role in destroying the careers of those he viewed as threats. He didn't only talk about hunting out suspected communists, he did something. As a member of the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals, he enthusiastically backed the House Un-American Activities Committee. In 1952, he played in Big Jim McLean, a film that elevated communist hunters to heroic status. He boasted of driving screenwriter Carl Foreman out of the country. In 1971, he stated that he never regretted it. Carl was hardly the only victim. Director Sam Wanamaker and writer Dalton Trumbo both wasted years of labor as a result of Wayne's efforts. People dreaded him. He was more than just a star. He was a force that decimated careers. In May 1971, Wayne revealed his true thoughts to the world. His Playboy interview astounded America. He did not hold back. He stated that he believes in white supremacy until blacks are educated to accept responsibility. He did not want African Americans in positions of leadership. He claimed that we couldn't suddenly drop down on our knees and hand over everything to the black leadership. That was not all. When asked about specific flicks, he described Midnight Cowboy as a story about two Fikey. Even in the early 1970s, people were astounded. The civil rights movement was new. The Stonewall riots shook the nation. The outcry was quick. People requested that structures in schools bearing his name be renamed. Decades later, the interview continues to incite controversy whenever it appears online. Wayne's opinions were not merely public. In private, he was equally extreme. In 1971, he sent a letter to President Nixon. He begged Nixon not to travel to China. In that letter, he addressed Henry Kissinger as that Jew. Kissinger. He even included hate material with it. This was not a casual insult. It demonstrated how deep his rage ran. Wayne's message revealed a side of him that most people had never seen. He wasn't merely an outspoken conservative. He was willing to use derogatory language to get his way. 2 years later, Wayne nearly unleashed havoc on live television. At the 1973 Academy Awards, Marlon Brando declined his Best Actor award for The Godfather. He had Sachin Littlefeather, a Native American activist, speak for him. She stood on stage and spoke about the mistreatment of Native Americans. The crowd booed and jeered. Backstage, Wayne lost control. He attempted to storm the stage. According to reports, it took 6 security personnel to stop him. He was 65 at the time, but his wrath was unmistakable. The Academy eventually apologized to Littlefeather, calling her experiences abuse. That night remains one of the Oscars' most violent moments. But Wayne wasn't only known for his rage in politics. In 1970, he finally received an Oscar. After more than 150 films, the Academy awarded him Best Actor for True Grit. He had been neglected for decades, despite his roles in classic films such as Stagecoach, Red River, and The Searchers. When Barbra Streisand announced his victory, he was astonished. He joked, "Wow, if I had known that, I would have applied the patch 35 years ago." The eye patch from his portrayal as Rooster Cogburn became a symbol of his long-awaited triumph. That Oscar was his only competitive victory. People perceived it as a disguised Lifetime Achievement Award. 5 years later, Wayne did something nobody expected. He collaborated with Katharine Hepburn and Rooster Cogburn. Fans were overjoyed to see two legends on screen together at last. She portrayed a strong-willed woman who clashed and connected with Wayne's harsh marshal. They hadn't worked together previously. Off-screen, they had mutual respect. The film provided a rare opportunity to see two giants share the spotlight. In 1976, Wayne's final film felt like a farewell. The shooter shared the story of a dying gunfighter. Wayne played J.B. Brooks, a cancer patient seeking tranquility. The job struck near to home. Wayne had conquered lung cancer, but he was ill again. 3 years after the film, he died of stomach cancer. He had carefully selected his cast, which included Lauren Bacall and James Stewart. He even designed the script to preserve his image. He refused to let his character shoot someone in the back. In the end, the picture served as his goodbye. Many consider John Wayne to be the ideal American cowboy, but his most difficult battle occurred outside of a film. It happened at a hospital. In 1964, he battled lung cancer. Doctors took out his entire left lung and 2 ribs. He did not hide it. He talked honestly about cancer. He dubbed it the Big C and attempted to dispel the stigma. For a while, it appeared that he had overcome it. But in January 1979, he underwent what should have been a straightforward gallbladder surgery. That's when doctors discovered cancer in his stomach. They saved his life by removing his entire stomach. At first, the doctors claimed his chances were good, but the cancer had spread. In May 1979, he returned to the hospital. This time it was for the last round of his fight. On June 11, 1979, he died at age 72. The news shocked the nation. The man who had previously survived gunfights on television and cancer had succumbed to the disease he had heroically battled. His demise seemed like the end of an era. Millions grieved the man known as the Duke. Following his passing, the country acted rapidly to honor him. In 1979, Congress authorized a unique Congressional Gold Medal for him. That award is one of the most prestigious honors a person may receive in America. It depicted his visage based on a photograph from when he filmed The Alamo. The back featured him on horseback in Monument Valley. That scenario reminded people of his well-known Western roles. The populace adored the medal. More than 1.5 million reproductions were sold. A 3-inch bronze copy cost $830. A smaller one cost one darn tuition. On March 6, 1980, his family earned the gold medal. That same year, President Jimmy Carter awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom. These accolades demonstrated how highly the country regarded him. Some questioned whether he genuinely deserved these distinctions, but the medals demonstrated the public's heartfelt gratitude. His fight against cancer did not end with his death. In 1985, his family founded the John Wayne Cancer Foundation. Later, they helped establish the John Wayne Cancer Institute at St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica. The foundation's objective was straightforward. It aimed to offer courage, strength, and tenacity to the fight against cancer. It provided funding for research, education, and awareness-raising initiatives. The Institute rose to prominence in the field of cancer research. It developed immunotherapy medications and novel surgical techniques. One of its projects, Block the Blaze, teaches young people how to protect themselves against skin cancer. The Waynes remain active in this mission. They help the foundation continue to fight. Thanks to these efforts, John Wayne's name is associated not just with film heroics, but also with real advancements in the fight against cancer. This work has had an impact on millions of people's lives, although not all aspects of his legacy are inspiring. In 2019, something from his past sparked outrage online. Parts of a 1971 interview have resurfaced. In that interview, he made openly racist and homophobic statements. He stated, "I believe in white supremacy until blacks are educated to the point of responsibility." He'd also used slurs when discussing flicks like Midnight Cowboy. The interview spread quickly on social media. Thousands reacted. Many people advocated for his name to be removed from public locations. Some believed it was time to cancel him. His family has spoken. They asked that people remember him as a compassionate family man and someone who helped others. They warned against judging someone only on statements spoken long ago.